All right. Hi there, everybody. You got the introduction, but once again, I'll say my name is Natalie. Welcome to Shoujo. I am here presenting as an intern with the panelist group. 5th Gen isn't Pokemon.
Good name.
This will determine whether or not you get promoted to panelist.
And that's something very important to me. That's the only reason I'm doing this panel. It's not like I wanted to talk about shoujo anime. But anyway, what does... Oh, shoot, now I can't click her. Already doing great. Fine. We're okay. What is shoujo? How do you guys define this word? Do you know what it means?
Like literally, like little girl.
Yes.
I would get made fun of for watching as a child.
You know what? All of you guys are correct. Shoujo means girl. Yeah, and it's all girl anime. Anime for the girls, if you will. But, like, not everybody can agree what counts as a shoujo anime. People will just look at something and be like, I don't know, is this shoujo? So I think we need to get on the same page here and figure out if we all agree what a shoujo anime is. This is going to be a quiz. I'm going to show you an image of an anime, and you're going to tell me whether you think it's a shoujo anime or not. If you think it's a shoujo anime, raise your hand. If you don't, keep your hands down. Wait, should I be using the microphone? It's not even on.
Hold down the A logo on the bottom of it.
I just realized that. Is this better, or is it even on?
Hold it down a bit longer. I feel like there's like a blue light that pops up. There you go. Now.
Hello. Okay, is this professional? I think this is professional. All right. First, is that time that you were bullied into joining the rich boys pretty people cult a shoujo anime? Yes, you all are correct. It is a shoujo anime. Give yourselves a round of applause. It's a romantic comedy. There's a character who self-identifies as a prince, and everything that happens in it are things that any girl could dream of, like being doted on by other girls. Next, is that time that an avalanche rendered you homeless a shoujo anime?
Actually, it was a landslide.
I don't care what it was called. Rocks fell. That landslide and avalanche mean the same thing. You guys are all correct. Fruits Basket is a shoujo anime. It's got the plot you would expect. Slice of life romance. Sure, there may be a few supernatural elements, but the important thing here is that it's appealing to young girls and women. Next is Death Note, but it's a romantic comedy, a shoujo anime. I mean, okay, I guess we're kind of the consensus here is correct because it's kind of a shoujo anime. And when I say this, I'm only talking about season 2, episode 7. Because if your dad walked in when this was on, he would think, that's an anime for girls. Next, is that time that you fell down a well into feudal Japan a shoujo anime? You know, I see you guys teetering here. Why are you teetering?
Because as a girl, it appeals to me. My God, I wish that were me.
You know what? You are thinking on the right track. I consider this a shoujo anime. It's written by a woman. Rumiko Takahashi.
It's hard.
Real anime. And, of course, it's got attractive male characters. Next, is that time that you found out your teacher was the hottest anime man alive a shoujo anime? Who is he? Who's the hottest anime man alive?
Ash Ketchum.
Wrong. It's Satoru Gojo.
I'm not saying
You knew?
I said that. I said it's Shoujo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have been paying attention.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Stop. I'm a woman. It's fine.
Anyway, Jujutsu Kaisen is a shoujo anime.
Period.
Just like Inuyasha, it has action. Just like Ouran High School Host Club, it has hot male characters. And just like Fruits Basket, it has supernatural elements. I think it's a shoujo anime. Like, okay, right now you guys might be doubting my credibility. You might be thinking, like, why does this girl have a panel? She doesn't even know how to read. And I assure you, I did more research after making that section. Extensive research. I did two things mainly. One, I read Wikipedia because that's classroom friendly now. And two, you know how like when you are trying to go to sleep, you put on some background noise to lull you to sleep? Yeah, you guys are nodding your heads. You have experienced this. Well, I did that with shoujo manga anime analysis videos. I think I'm a scholar now. But anyway, I should probably talk about what I learned. Here's what I learned. The first people to publish shoujo manga were actually men. I mean, sure, it was the 50s. What do I expect? You know, can't win everyone. But in the 60s, some women did start writing manga, and this is one of them. This is Minori Kimura. Guess how old she was when her first manga was published in Ribbon magazine? Just shout out numbers.
60, 30.
50.
Oh, wait, no one got it. You guys were pretty close. She was 14. That's child labor. Why are we having child labor in shoujo manga? This is not okay. Let's just talk about the magazines instead. So you know how in shonen manga, there's this one big magazine with a 1,000 chapter manga publishing in it? No, the other one. Shoujo manga doesn't really have that. Nobody can agree, like, okay, what's the big magazine? There's three that are kind of in the running, those being Chow, Ribbon, and Nakayoshi. And like, if we go through each of these, they can't possibly be more problematic than child labor, right? First, Chow. That's just the Italian word for hello. If you're gonna use a foreign language word for the name of your manga or your magazine, call it something less basic. But they did publish the most important shoujo manga ever made, Magical Pokemon Adventure. A manga with the greatest love story of all time. You got Hazel, who's obsessed with Almond, who's obsessed with Pokemon, and Grandpa, who's obsessed with himself. I think they solved romance forever. Anyway, the next magazine to talk about is Ribbon. You know, that thing you can't buy anymore because Joann's is closed. And then Nakayoshi. I don't know, I'm not sure if we're looking too hot. Maybe the second tier of popular magazines will prove better. There's La La, the only two notes you know how to sing. And then Hanato Yume, aka Flowers and Dreams. I understand flowers. What's more shoujo than flowers? But like dreams are kind of scary. I don't want to think about them. Honestly, I think the best magazines are the ones I had never heard of before making this panel, named after the objectively best foods: cheese, cookies, and dessert. But like, we're at an anime convention. I can't spend all my time talking about comic books because people don't just read. They like to watch things on screens. We should talk about shoujo anime. And there's only one place to start, and it's with him, Osamu Tezuka. This guy, you know, he's behind Astro Boy, but he's also behind Princess Knight, one of the first shoujo manga and anime. And this was really an influential series because it introduced the entire concept of having your stories be like connected to each other. Before this, everyone in the shoujo sphere was like, oh, we're only going to do episodic stories that don't connect to each other. Wild concept. But the important thing to know about Osamu Tezuka is that if Disneyland was what it is today, back then, he would have had a lifetime pass. So, unfortunately, he was a stan. And what do stans do? when they like have a specific thing that they're really obsessed with. Do you guys have any ideas?
Themselves, if they're like emulate.
Yeah, exactly. They write fan fiction. So Princess Knight is just Tezuka's Snow White fix-it fic. He looked at Snow White and was like, she needs a cool hat. She needs stylish pants. I'm gonna improve Snow White. And he wasn't the only one that did stuff like this. We got Sally the Witch, which is literally a Kiki's Delivery Service XP. Aim for the Ace? What if Prince of Tennis was about the Princess of Tennis? Rose of Versailles? What if the French Revolution was a love triangle? You know, honestly, I kind of like love triangles. You know, they're kind of cool. Kind of like triangles, to be honest. Remember back in high school where you had to prove congruency with triangles, and there were like these few theorems you could use: side, 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 angle, side, angle, angle, side. And then you gave your teacher sass because you couldn't prove congruency with ass? Did this not happen to you guys? It did happen. We had the same experience. Did you also have a classmate who brought in a head of lettuce after your teacher was like, hey, I hate it when you guys eat granola bars in class?
Yeah.
I love you playing along. This is amazing. But I think that people came here for something other than math. This is supposed to be a shoujo panel, isn't it? So we should talk about love triangles. Let's go through a couple of anime featuring love triangles and see how good they are. So Peach Girl is the first one to talk about. It's a story about Momo, a swimmer who really can't pick a lane and stay in it. My girl has low self-esteem, which, like, I get it, girl, me too. But she's not helping herself when she hangs out with a girl who is constantly insulting her fashion. Throughout the series, she has two boys that she's romantically involved with. And honestly, I think they're both bad options. The first guy is Kyrie, and this guy drowns himself multiple times in the series, also that Momo can save him. Like, maybe drowning was what he's into, but I don't know, man. I think he should get better hobbies. And then the other guy is Toji. He can't even bother to make a funny face when he takes a photo with his friends. Most of the anime is Momo waffling back and forth between Kyrie and Toji, and then Sai stirring up drama whenever possible. It's really toxic, and frankly, I think it's best left in middle school. Next series is Nana, which is a great series. I saw that reaction. You guys love it, I love it. It's about two girls who both have the name Nana, so one of them has to go by Hachi. I'm going to talk about Hachi for a moment here. Hachi becomes romantically involved with one of Nana's bandmates, Nobu. And he's a good guy. He treats her well, serenades her to sleep every night, tolerates her being clingy. But he is not Hachi's celebrity crush, Takumi. This guy, Takumi, he comes over for a party and seduces her. Long story short, she becomes pregnant with a child that may or may not be his, and his reaction is, time to marry her. And then he just proceeds to prioritize his coworker, Reira, over his wife and children. Set aside being a good partner for a moment. Is this good parenting? Not even AI knows. Honestly, I think Hachi should have dated Nana instead. They would have been happier. Maybe these drama-filled love triangles are too much. Maybe I should look at something a little lighter and softer. So I watched A Sign of Affection, and the anime is cute, but the two main characters are kind of just passive doormats of people. They can't even cancel the ableist guy. It was 2024. We could do that back then. We can't do that anymore. Moving on, I also tried watching Marmalade Boy and came to the conclusion that the anime is mid, but it gets the one thing right that matters. This is the first 5 seconds of the opening theme. Frankly, There was no reason to continue watching after this. Now that we found the best love triangle, the only thing that makes sense is to talk about some other common shoujo tropes, like race to your love. This is that climactic sequence that happens 5 minutes before credit roll when the characters start playing The Amazing Race, not to win $1 million, but to reunite with their loved one. These can be pretty fun and exciting. For example, Ouran High School Host Club, the anime, does have a dramatic finale following this formula. But I think there could have been more. If Tamaki is moving away, it should be a mad dash through TSA. You chug your water bottle. No, you chuck your water bottle. No time for this. You get to the terminal, and it turns out that the plane is already left. Maximum drama. You call your mom's boyfriend's client with a private jet. It's usually just 2 hamsters and the pilot, so you're fine. This time, there are additional porcupines in the plane, but again, it's totally chill. You can use their quills to take out whoever is daring to take your beloved away from you. Once in the air, you engage in an airship battle. Using what you know from Porco Rosso, you win. Wait, where were we again? Oh, yeah. If this happened in Ouran High School Host Club, that anime would have been a 10 out of 10. The other trope I really like is the wall slam. And I was going to write a whole bit about this one too, but there's already a wiki how on how to do this. So I honestly don't think I have to. I've been spreading a little bit of, I back up. I feel like I've been focusing a lot on the romance in shoujo, and I can't do that anymore. That's misinformation. I need to remind people shoujo is a demographic, not a genre. There are more genres than just romance and shoujo. For example, boys love. Wait, that is romance? Hold on. The next one won't be, I swear. Anyway, I'm kind of not very qualified to talk about BL, considering I've only watched 3 of them, and my average rating is a 3.3. But somebody else is going to talk about boys love later today, so just go watch their panel. I'm sure that they will say everything I could have said. Next is horror. Honestly, this is something that people find a little bit surprising, but horror is a big subgenre in shoujo manga and anime. This right here, this is the progenitor of horror shoujo anime and manga, called kaidan. You know what this translates to? Ghost stories. Enough time has passed. That dub hasn't aged well, and I said that. I'm glad it was canceled after 19 episodes. Anyway, shoujo horror is probably good on the basis of not being ghost stories. Then there's magical girl anime, which honestly is a big can of worms and could be its own panel by itself. So I'll just say that my guy Keroberos here, he is kind of a jerk. My guy won't stop referring to Sakura as card captor Sakura, when Sakura isn't ready for the responsibility of being a card captor. This is no different from the whole Shinji get in the robot thing from Evangelion. Oh geez, I feel like we're running out of time. We gotta speed run these next ones. So there's history, action adventure, fantasy, babysitting simulator, cross-dressing male lead comes into female lead's life to give her fashion and life advice. Speaking of life advice, that's one of the main reasons we consume media anyway. To learn more about ourselves and the world. Everything is edutainment if you squint. Now, what can anime and other demographics teach you? Like, sure, you could learn economics from Spice and Wolf, but it's set in medieval times, so it's probably outdated. That's a bad idea. Can you learn science from Dr. Stone? I mean, the things they're covering aren't exactly useful. When's the last time you needed to brew up nitroglycerin in your bathtub? Camping? I mean, I guess you could watch Yuru Camp, but they're only teaching you about camping in Japan. How are you going to figure out how to book a campsite in Yosemite? Okay, next, we got to actually talk about what shoujo can do for you. And I think it can give you free therapy, like actually free therapy. Not betterhelp.com, we don't like them. Not whatever Zuckerberg is trying to sell you. Let me geek out here for a moment. So shoujo manga is really able to illustrate introspection and in a way that you can't, other demographics don't really do this. Scattered thoughts can just be thrown around. Who is he really? Why is he helping me? He's always helping me. Why? He knows everything about me. These thoughts inform our characters' actions. It's them actively processing their emotions. That's something that's good to do. Your characters will learn empathy, and so will you. And then you get to know them really, really, really well because of this. So well that you fall in love with them. That's what media is all about, right? Falling in love with characters who will never exist in real life. Now, they say that every 3 seconds a new relationship starts on Tinder, but I know those stats are hard to beat. I think we can make the argument that time is a flat circle in the world of fiction. We can fall in love as frequently as we want. In this section, I'm going to talk about a few characters that I think are cool and just geek out again. So Soichiro Arima, I like him not because he's a model student, not because he's a nice guy. I mean, I guess because he's a nice guy, because he shares a CD with Yukino. Green flag. He's using physical media, actively preventing the death of physical media. And you know what? Sharing is caring. That's pretty cool. This is a little controversial, but I really like Toga from Revolutionary Girl Utena. You know, he's the classic bad boy here. Maybe he's a little bit of a stalker, but he does the most important thing, which is reject the advances of his little sister. Then I like Yuki Soma from Fruits Basket. I really warmed up on him because he has a secret base garden, just like my D&D character. You know, I'm showing a lot of love for the love interests, but I should also show some love for the protagonists too. Big fan of Toru Honda because she is the only one in all of Fruits Basket who can do a successful hear me out to God. And then I also like Kyoko from Skip Beat because she commutes by bicycle. Big fan of Yukino from Karikano. Move over Aqua, Kana, and Akane from Oshinoko. Yukino is better at acting than all of you. Karikano as a whole has you beat where it really matters. Music. Burning animation cells is greater than CGI idol performance. Who cares if Idol topped the charts? The Karikano ending theme was featured in hit 2022 film Suzume. You guys should all watch Karikano. It's only 26 episodes. It's really easy. Then you can watch 39 episodes of Utena, 47 episodes of Nana, 102 episodes of Koto-cha. Then read a few volumes of Skip Beat, like 1, 2, 3. Actually, just read the whole thing all the way to 51. And then watch 1,000 plus episodes of Precure. You think that's a lot of reading? I don't care. That's the panel. Thank you guys for watching. It looks like we have time for a few questions too. So if anyone has some husbandos they want to speak their love about, or other arguments they'd like to make, I'm all ears.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I stumbled on a genre, I call it Shoujo Ai. So it's like, I guess, opposite of boys love. Like Adachi and Shimamura, and I don't know whether I call this Shoujo, but Dangerous in My Heart.
Yeah, so shoujo ai is kind of a different genre from shoujo because it appeals more to I would say in general the stereotype, or not stereotype, like the general leaning is that it's for like adult men. It's more in like the seinen demographic. For example, I believe Bloom Into You is seinen, or shoot, I'm not as knowledgeable about this stuff, so I might be speaking out of nowhere here. But I don't know if I answered your question.
No worries. I just throwing that out there. It's floating in my brain.
Yes.
Why that one guy from that one anime, he's got like cat ears or something. Why is he hot?
Oh, you're talking about from from Kami-sama Kiss?
Yeah.
I mean, he does like when he describes Nanami walking through the like the spirit world area, he compares her to a Farfetch'd. So I think that was pretty cool.
Like Farfetch'd the Pokemon?
Yeah. He's like, oh, you're like a duck carrying around a leek, asking people to cook you. You know, basically like, you know, man, I'm so appetizing. Come eat me. Yes.
It's like the worst shoujo you've seen. Give me a hot take.
The worst shoujo.
Just when you think's like overrated or like that.
Oh, I have a perfect answer for overrated. That's Maid-sama.
Yeah, period.
Thank you.
I'm
People,
with you, bro.
people look on it with these rose-colored glasses, but then you actually watch it again and you're like, oh crap, this anime is constantly undermining Misaki, and Usui is a terrible person.
Period.
I've also watched a few like obscure shoujo that are like they only had like one episode as like an OVA, and I've just been like, well, that was disappointing and boring. But I think that's more the fault of the fact that it was a one episode OVA rather than like, oh, that shoujo was terrible. The manga's probably fine. Yes.
Can you give some of those obscure OVA recommendations?
I would have to pull up my anime list to tell you. I seriously blocked those out of my head. I'm sorry. Okay, I believe we're at time. It is now 11:30. So thank you all for being a wonderful audience. I hope you guys have a good rest of DAiCon.
Thank you.